Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Football Inc. We hope you're all happy and healthy, doing the things you love for those you love to do them with. It's Wednesday, it's 3:30. We're back to the usual time. Actually, we've stolen 3 minutes from you. We'll give you them back at the end. Johnny, believe it or not, is back in the UK, although he hasn't changed his his background. He's trying to keep everybody guessing. Does he live by the seaside? Does he have palm trees in his garden in North London? We don't know. Johnny, how are you, my man?
I'm very well. I just want to say a big up to Nathan McCreary from the broadcasting company over there in the US of A, who sent the Georgia Tech t-shirt, cap. Very much appreciated. Very much love, mate. Loving it. I'm sending Sean's on. Thanks very much. Anyone else wants to send me any merch or caps, be my guest. I love a cap. Sean loves a t-shirt, 4XL, he says, but I don't think he's that big. Yeah, thanks very much, Nathan. Really appreciate it, mate, for taking the time to send that over. Guys, if you're in the chat, you know the score. Hit the like button. If you're in the room, smash the granny out the like button. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell, because you never know when we're going to be going live at 9:30, 3:30, 9:30 at night. No one ever knows. So hit the notification bell. And if you're listening on audio, please, on Apple or Spotify, hit the follow button, because we're trying to grow the audio side of it now, and just hit a 5-star review and a cheeky little review. That would be great. And thanks for all of you who are here. If you're new, tell us where you are. And new hat, lazy Spurs fan. This is from Nathan. Yeah, nice hat, Nathan. Thanks very much, mate. Loving it. And I'll forward Sean's on. All full hat. Shut up, Darren.
Big up, Nathan. Big up, everyone. Thank you very much, all. Good to see you all. Good day, Andrew. Good day, Marshall. Good day to you all. Hi, Jordan. How you doing, mate? Right. As Johnny says, do all the usual admin stuff. We got a bit of a bumper show, actually. We're going to start with a little bit of Tottenham Hotspur, because, look, it's a bit of a dry, damp squib of a window for a lot of teams, especially Tottenham. And I know a lot of Tottenham fans are in the house, but I want to give everybody a little bit of a moment to maybe smile, because if you're only going to get a couple of top players that really improve you, it's always nice if you get them from teams that don't want to lose them. And even nicer if you get them from teams whose fans hate you and could never dream or possibly think or conceive of the idea that their players don't want to be there no more. They want to be over here for some better opportunities. And of course, we got a little taste of that about 4 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when we signed Mohamed Kudus, Johnny, from West Ham. And that was kind of it. But today, we seem to have found a little bit of energy around two stories. One that is actually a cop block that needs to move on. And it actually might be that he ends up at West Ham, and that's in the face of, in the sort of the guise of Yves Bissouma. And at the same time, fresh off of his clearance from betting charges and not match fixing, spot price fixing or something in the betting markets, another future Tottenham player potentially. The rumours are not just a little bit here and there, mate. They're starting to get up a little bit around the decent aggregators, and that is, of course, Lucas Paquetá. Or Paquetá, depending on how you want to say it.
Drove my car to Lucas Paquetá.
Mate, I'll just come out and say it. That's a rat-a-tar-tar of a transfer link. I don't know if it's true. Got no idea. Obviously, I don't know anything. But it's a story that makes you go, yes, please. Lucas Paquetá alongside Kudus at Tottenham. Yves Bissouma going in the other direction. It's not a bad little way to start the day, is it?
No, it's definitely not. How much are we going to bet on it? How much is Paquetá had a bet on it? Whether the family have had a bet on the transfer, I don't know. Yeah. We don't know. Just to say, all gambling people, we have no relation or no connection with Lucas Paquetá or Paquetá, and it was just a joke. Okay, just in case we do eventually have a bet on it.
Allegedly.
But no, listen, look. If he can focus and get back in the game, because let's be honest, on his day, superb. He's been a long while out. Can he find his mojo again, Sean? That's the thing. Can he find his mojo? We know on his day, he's definitely going to add something to this Spurs squad.
Didn't really affect Tonali, did it?
It didn't. It didn't. How old is Paquetá now? 27, is he?
Let's have a look. He is 27. Yeah, 27.
Yeah, 27. Yes. Yeah, in his prime. In his prime. I'll have £25 on it. 25 quid says Luis Paquetá. I mean, what are they going to ask for him now? Are they going to ask some stupid money for him? After the last
40 million?
uproar.
40 million? What do you reckon?
I think you've got to pay 30. Can't be paying 40 million now.
Yeah, 30, 40 million.
It's goods, isn't it? We don't know he's not going to have another bet.
That's true. That's true. Well, apparently he was cleared of any wrongdoing. So,
soiled goods. Soiled goods.
Maybe, mate. But listen, he's a better player than Morgan Gibbs-White, in my opinion. He's more versatile. He can play in the 6, the 8, or the 10. He's technically a fantastic player. He contributes. He's got a lovely ping on him. He's a little bit nasty as well. Like, now that that's out of the way, you never know, mate. Maybe every cloud has a silver lining, and maybe Tottenham can turn around and go to West Ham. Hopefully, they've got a somewhat decent relationship with West Ham, having got that deal for Kudus done fairly quickly. Maybe they can go back, pick up the phone, and say, "Listen, we'll do a deal. You can." And Bissouma said if he's going to leave Tottenham, well, he didn't say it, but the rumours are that he's only willing to leave Tottenham to stay in the Premier League. If he goes to West Ham, he doesn't even need to move home.
No, he can stay at home.
I think, by the way, Bissouma would be absolutely brilliant in a West Ham team. I think they need a player like him. He could be a bit of a star man in that midfield, and I think the whole thing makes a hell of a lot of sense. I think it'd be great. It's great for all parties.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a Louis Vuitton at Westfield. He'll be able to get there nice and quick. To dress himself from head to toe. Look, I think it'd be a great signing for Spurs. It would 100% lift us up. Creativity, because I don't believe for 1 minute that James Maddison has got the legs to play as many games as he's going to have to play this season. So for me, it's 100% yes. Yeah, I'd be jumping all over it. The thing is here, after what happened, how much pressure would there be from the West Ham fan base that we make up for what we lost out on one for the other? I'm not sure. But I think we got to go for this. Definitely. There's one other I'd like to go for, Sean, that would really complete it. I mean, we've had this conversation a few times, and I'm going to put it out there. I think we are definitely interested in him, but whether he'll come, get rid of Son and bring in Garnacho. I've thought about this long and hard. We've looked at the metrics. We've spoken about it. We've looked at the metrics, right? And I know he's a dickhead. I know that stupid blonde hair. I mean, he'll be right at home with Pedro Porro. But I just think that he would. I think he would. Could you imagine him with Kudus, Paquetá, and Garnacho? Thank you very much.
Yeah, sorry, who? Garnacho on the left, Kudus on the right. Who in the 10? Maddison.
Well, no, Paquetá. Well,
Paquetá in the 10. Okay. Yeah. And then who in the 8?
Well, take your choice, mate. It's a competitive squad.
A Polinia and a Bergvall. Polinia, Bentancur, Paquetá. Yeah. Garnacho, Kudus, Solanke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I would prefer to see Paquetá in a double pivot.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, I'm not going to be choosy, right? Because, I don't see Maddison playing all the games. I can't see Maddison playing Champions League Wednesday and then playing in the Premier League and be top drawer on the Thursday, on the Saturday. So, we're going to have to rotate. It's not something Thomas Frank is brilliant at because he's used to playing the same team over and over at Brentford. But you're not going to be able to do this all the time. But yes, Spurs are interested in Garnacho if we manage to sell Son. I think
he'll go, mate. I think he'll go. I think he'll go after next weekend when we.
You see how miserable he looked on the Asian tour.
Yeah,
and even the Asians were going, "Sonny, why so miserable?
Mate.
Why? They were saying they were upset, mate. They were upset. They were upset.
I wasn't expecting that accent straight off the bat.
No, but they love him.
Just on the back of that one being so absolutely appropriate. Now we have to bring in the Turkish accent.
No. I mean, listen, look. We love Sonny. We love Sonny. And I just think, I don't want it to be like a sad way to leave. Do you?
No, not at all. That's really hilarious. It's so good, so good. I just wasn't expecting it so early on in the show. Just quickly, Daniela, I've been wondering who you support.
Can I just say, guys? It's no offense. We do.
No, we do every accent. We do everyone's accent.
We do Turkish. We do Chinese. Right.
We do everything. Australian, German.
You heard him in the crowd. You heard the person shout in the crowd. Sonny, why so miserable? Why so unhappy? Right? And he did. He looked, He did. He didn't look as happy as the guy who was holding up the Daniel Levy shirt, saying, "I love Daniel Levy."
That was my Asian uncle, Horn Butler. They're definitely getting cancelled now, 100%. Daniela Stewart, I've always seen you knocking around in my comments on Spurs Talk Show. And you've always been talking about you as in like Tottenham. I always thought you were a Tottenham fan, but now I know from looking above, I can see now that you're obviously a West Ham fan, Daniela. So that's now I know. Let us know, Daniela. Would you, if you are a West Ham fan, would you be okay losing Lucas? Be interesting, mate. Yeah, but it's an interesting story. And. Look at the comments coming in. 100% we're in trouble. It's all a bit of joke. Let's talk a little bit about Sunderland, mate. They are on. They've got Granit Xhaka.
Hang on one second. Sorry, I didn't want to.
Crack on.
Look, I think this is serious that Sonny's going, right? And I think it's obvious now with Mikey Moore looking like he's going to tie up a deal to Glasgow Rangers, which I think is a great deal for all concerned. With Manus Solomon, we're not sure what's going to happen with him.
Yeah,
we cannot go in with Matthias Tell on his own. So I think, Spurs are going to, be a serious contenders. They have to come in and make a bid for Garnacho, or a serious bid on the left-hand side. There is one other Spurs...
Just quickly on the Garnacho thing, though, I personally think that's a story that's going to drag on. I don't think he finds a new home until maybe deadline day. Genuinely, I just think that'll be one of the last ones that's wrapped up for two reasons. I think everybody's probably conscious of the issues with him, and so everyone would rather possibly go and find someone else elsewhere. For me, Ademola Lookman would be my first choice. And again, today there's news out that Atalanta are saying, that Inter want him. He wants to leave, not necessarily just to Inter. He wants to go, but look, we'll do it in our own time when it's right for us, and the money's good and everything else. So that's not wrapped up yet. And I'd be really interested to see if there was anyone from the Premier League that wanted to take a gamble on, not even a gamble, bringing back Lookman. I'd love that. He'll be my number one. But Garnacho, I think, is something that will rumble on. I can't imagine that there's going to be like just you wake up tomorrow and he's gone somewhere and you've missed him.
No. I mean, look, the thing is, right, had we not got Champions League, we'd be saying that Aston Villa are maybe top of the swaps with Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, maybe.
And Garnacho going the opposite way. There are lots of swap deals that are available, but I would definitely take him. One more deal that's been linked. Portuguese side, Famalicão. I've never heard of them. Famalicão. Are monitoring Tottenham's midfielder Tyrese Hall, who previously drew January interest from Championship clubs. That's according to Sky Sports. Tyrese Hall.
On a permanent or on a loan?
Well, it hasn't actually said. I would have thought it would have been for a club like that. It would probably be at a loan. I don't think Spurs will be looking to offload him at 19 years of age. So let's move on to Sunderland now. Yeah,
well, Sunderland have finally got their man, mate. They finally got their their guy in Granit Xhaka, and I've got their current list. Where is it? Where's my current list from? It's
great
wild.
signing.
The amount of people that you have to create a list here for them. They've signed so many players. I can't find it on my list here. Oh, here we go. They've now got Diarra for 31.5 million euros. Cracking player. Lefay, 23 million euros. Really interesting player. Talby, young Bruges player, winger. Very interesting. Had a really good season. Adingra from Brighton. We know about him.
Yeah.
Sadiki, talent, strong, fast engine on him. Reinildo, the old school left back, who was at Atletico Madrid, cracker. Granit Xhaka's done for 20 million euros, and now they're on to this new guy called Roefs, Roefs, a Dutch player.
Yeah, Roefs.
Roefs.
He's had it rough. He's had it rough.
Robin Roefs, I think his name is. He's had it
Robin
Roefs, yeah. Who plays for? He's a goalkeeper who plays for Nijmegen, NEC Nijmegen. Left-footed goalkeeper. I'm not sure if that's relevant, but youngster, I think. Oh no, yeah, he's 22 years old. Sunderland, mate. They're really. Who owns Sunderland, by the way? I'm going to find out who owns Sunderland because they're going for it. And I appreciate
American owners, isn't it?
Who owns Sunderland Football Club?
Yes,
Sunderland Football Club is owned by Kirill Louis Dreyfus, who holds a 64% stake in the club. The other 36% is owned by Juan Sartori. Yeah.
Okay, so Ian Reid in the chat. Yes, there is a code for the Fantasy Premier League. We're getting lots and lots of buzz. Sean will whack it in the chat again during the show. So stay tuned. I think we've got some super chats, Shawnee.
1 second. Let me just get the code. Here you go, guys. I think the code is KOGV9C. Yeah. Where's my thing? Here you go. Fantasy Football link. That should be auto join. Yeah. There should be an auto join one there. Yeah. Should be there. Let's do some super chats. The super sticker train has started. The lazy Spurs fan. Good to see you, mate. Choo choo. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate you. It wasn't a super sticker, but you haven't said anything, so I just really appreciate that. Anyway, Blake L. Super sticker from you, Blake. You're either in America or Canada. We appreciate you. Let us know where we're picking you up from.
Thank you, Blake.
On the train. Thank you very much. Big Country Chris is saying, Sean, can you ask Johnny if he hates the word logic? Oh, mate, that was the funniest thing of it. You didn't see the show last night. So I went live on Spurs Talk Show at about box office, mate. It was he came on in a real he wanted to go after everybody, and by the end of the show he was having a blazing row with James Flower. And he said at some point, he goes, another thing, I can't stand logic. I cannot stand the word logic, the phrase logic. Everyone's talking about logic. It's not for me. Logic is not for me. And the comments were just lighting up going, really?
Oh, okay. What was he? He'd be good with Spock, wouldn't he?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Illogical.
But appreciate you, Big Country Chris. Appreciate you, mate. Choppy Cheese. The man who usually comes in saying that everything's about the smell, the inhalation of a fart or something.
Yeah.
He says, Polinia, Anthony Robinson, Garnacho, Arden Jashari in my dreams.
Yeah.
That'd be a lovely four ball.
That'd be a lovely window. A lovely window. I dream of Jashari. Tony in the chat has said, I know where you heard this from. Sean and I were talking about the stadium naming rights. Like a long time ago, we've been talking about investment for months. Let's be honest. But I take it that you sort of watched Barnaby's show today, so you got that one. But guys, we've been talking about it for weeks. I think inward investment will come. That's me personally. But I don't think it will come until after the transfer window. Who in their right mind would announce a hundreds of £1 million deal and then say, oh, going to a transfer and declaring I've got no money? Yeah, it doesn't work like that. So I expect that to come later on. But we'll wait and see. Like the shirt being held up, it ain't a deal until it's a deal.
100%, yeah. But like I say, that story is. I haven't seen Barnaby's show about it, but
Yeah, it's just going over what we were talking about, basically, not, more or less.
Yeah, he messaged me yesterday saying that that was the case, that it was done or something. And I said to him, "Oh yeah, that story's basically been out." And he said, "Yeah, he knows a person who knows a thing or two, and apparently it's done, something like that." So,
not being funny, I think it's the same guy you spoke to.
Yeah, well, I learnt my lesson on that one. Right.
But listen,
it's not worth the headache of being wrong just to be right.
No, listen, right on here we give our opinion. We digest and discuss and all the news that's coming through. Anyway, let's talk about one that's been rattling around for a few weeks now since we started that show, and that's Zabarnyi from Bournemouth to PSG. Liverpool are interested. You saw some ridiculous quotes that Spurs are interested in pitching a 70 million euro deal for him. If I believe that, I honestly don't even bother. He's got the choice between Liverpool and PSG, and he's thinking about signing for Spurs. Not a chance. I think he'll go to PSG. He said he'd like to go to PSG, but you've got to give your hats off to Bournemouth's recruitment to bring in Osimhen and Zabarnyi and sell them both off for, what was it, 120 million, the pair?
Yeah, the problem is though, Johnny, we spoke about this as well.
Yeah, they haven't got anyone to replace them.
You can't replace it. It doesn't. If you gave Bournemouth £500 million right now, they're still not going to be able to attract a £50 million player to go to them. They're just not, in my opinion. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. I've been mudded many times, but I think that it's all very well selling your best players. You're a feeder club. You're a selling club. I get it. Everyone's got their pecking order to play to, but if you sell 4 or 5 of them in the same go from your first team, unless you have an absolutely bulletproof transfer strategy where you know what's coming through next and you're confident that they can step in a world where you're walking into a league where you've got Leeds doing bits, you've got Sunderland doing a lot, you might get dragged in. You might get. I don't think Bournemouth will get sucked in. I think they're too good. I think they're too well run and all that stuff. And they could, if they were to find themselves in trouble, they could probably go big in January and get the help necessary. But Brentford are starting to turn a couple of screws. It's interesting to see who will get sucked in, because I do think Sunderland will get enough points to really put the pressure and the cat amongst the pigeons amongst those teams that will finish between 7.
Burnley. I don't think Burnley, for me. I mean, Burnley under Parker will go defensive. They'll try and tough it out. But I think, Leeds and Sunderland have really made a statement. But what they have done, Bournemouth, I mean, they sold Kirkes as well for another 45 million. They brought in ridiculous amounts of money. But Adrian Truffert, the guy they brought in to replace him, is a real, he's a real flying winger. And I think we should keep an eye on him this season, because I think he could be another one they've unleashed. So that's Adrian Truffert. Truffert.
Yeah, he's a left back, isn't he?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah,
really interesting. Look, I mean, we shall see, mate. We shall see what happens. I just think that, like I say, I do think that Bournemouth will be okay, but I do think that I think that some of these teams need to be a little bit careful about how many that they sell, because it's not that easy to go and replace them, especially if you lose 3 or 4 at the same time. And then you bring in 3 or 4 new ones, even if you can replace them with like for likes, it's still disruption. But the only reason why, you could look at Liverpool and Arsenal and kind of go, okay, they both signed 5 or 6 players for either their first team or their squad this summer. They've done a lot of business. How much time does it take for those people to get their chemistry working? We'll find out tomorrow, as Tottenham are taking on Arsenal in the first of our overseas preseason friendly. That, by the way, I'll be streaming that on Spurs Talk Show, guys, if you want to come and do the watch along with me. But I want to just quickly call out our friend Foxy, Johnny.
All right.
Because Foxy's Newcastle, well, they have just been on the receiving end of a 1-0 loss to the K-League 11 over in, was it Japan, I guess? Japan today?
Korea?
The K-League, sorry, the K-League's the Korea, isn't it? Sorry, the J-League's Japan, isn't it? Sorry, yeah. So, not a wonderful start for Newcastle. Just having a quick look-see at what that...
It's okay, they'll be playing Spurs next.
So that Osula that you talk about, he started in the front line. He started in the 9. Alanga and Gordon, and then you had Willock, who apparently Foxy was saying got an injury, might be out for a while. Tonali and Miley on the right, and then Livramento, Murphy, Lascelles, and Kraft.
They need a centre back, mate.
They need a centre back massively, don't they? Really, really badly.
They need a centre back, and they've tried. Can't say they haven't tried. Listen, can't read too much into these pre-season, especially out in Asia, but it hasn't gone too well for them at the moment. But I like that young striker. We'll be interested to see how he gets on. One club that is trying to do business, and I really do think that they're going the right direction, is Everton. And they have prioritised now. They said Douglas Luiz is their main target to sit in the middle of the park there before they can entertain any sort of loan move for Jack Grealish. What are you thinking of Everton's moves right now? I mean, they've been pretty solid. They built on solid foundations defensively last season. He went in straight away, managed to turn it around from Sean Dyche pretty quick.
Yeah,
and he's adding some pieces to the jigsaw. Yeah,
100%, mate. I think let me just remind myself. So that they're still trying to get Takefusa Kubo.
Yeah,
the crafty little winger. I think he's out of Sociedad still. Again, a player that I don't know. It just doesn't strike me as David Moyes type, but they want to go in a certain direction, and I think Moyes is adaptable. So it'd be really interesting. They're trying to get Hayden Hackney as well, but didn't Hayden Hackney end up going to Ipswich today? Is that what's happened?
Right. So let me tell you something. Right, if someone doesn't come in and match that 15 million. Right, someone needs to have a word with themselves, because Hayden Hackney is 100% good enough to play for any of the teams in the bottom half of the Premier League, in my opinion. You want someone who's tough in the tackle and can pass the ball well. Hayden Hackney's your man. Listen, I mean, like Ipswich, you know, they lost the lap, but so far they've kept Amari Hutchinson. So. Yep. You know, this is a really, really good signing to strengthen that midfield. And I think it's a really, really good signing for them. And a great... unless there's some sell-on clause, I think that's one hell of a good buy. Tell me something. Do you think Everton will go ahead with Jack Grealish loan? Or because he doesn't seem like a Moyes player, does he?
They're definitely looking for a winger, mate. So they're in talks with Kubo. They're in talks with Hassan Diao, the guy who plays for Como, who's a left winger. I think he's Spanish Senegalese. They're also looking at that. Was it Adam Asnu? We talked about him a couple of days ago, didn't we? I think he's a winger. They're looking at. Oh no, sorry, he's a central defender. My bad. He's a defender. They're also looking at Bilal El Kanous, the player that Tottenham were linked with yesterday, who's out in he's at Leicester right now. The Flemish Moroccan fellow, or Algerian, I forget where he's a North African guy. And they're still in talks with Malik Fofana. And so El Kanous is a 10 that can play off the left. Malik Fofana is a winger that can play both sides, but predominantly on the left. Kubo's a right winger, predominantly, but can play off the left. But and Hassan Diao is also a left winger. They're clearly looking for a specific type of profile, mate. And if they'll get one of them, or one of something like that. And as I say, I think that will be something that, you know, when we always talk about how every team's got a Colio show. Every team's got a take on guy that can do a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think Everton have really got one of those, or haven't had it for a while. So I think it's about time that they go and get one or two. And if they can, I think that it'd be really interesting to see how David Moyes sets them up next year. Really,
the Leicester boy. Do you think the Leicester boy is in with a chance of going there?
El Kanous. Listen, I don't rate him that much. I think he's talent. He's a talent, right?
Right? Sean Fitson starts.
Yeah. He might turn into a beast, mate. He might turn into a beast. But from what I've seen of him, I wouldn't want him at Tottenham. If Tottenham signed him, there'd be an absolute meltdown in the fan base. Everton maybe it's not a bad place for him to go, but and Dye as well. They're looking at, weren't they?
Yeah,
And then they missed out on the other fella, Ndoye. They were trying to get Ndoye. He ended up going to Nottingham Forest, didn't he, a couple of days
that's
ago?
it. Well, Napoli thought they were getting him as well. So, Forest are doing the business. Actually, while we're talking about Forest, Nottingham Forest have had the bid for James McAtee, thrown back 25 million. They've offered for him. Not enough as far as Man City is concerned.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I wondered I thought that Everton might come in for a McAtee type. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think that. Are you thinking of James McAtee in the 10? If so, then that's probably what the El Canouse role would be, right? I don't know how because James McAtee can play in a bunch of different positions, can't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For versatility, I'm 100%. I think. Listen, I think just like how Sunderland, the Granit Xhaka is a massive signing, is the glue that binds all those signings together. I think Douglas Luiz for Everton would be, the linchpin of any side that David Moyes tries to put together, because he's such a David Moyes type of player. I really do think, and the way he plays, the way he sets his teams up, I think he'd excel there. I'd love to see him at Spurs. I'll be brutally honest, but we don't seem to be doing any twerking for him at all. Nothing.
Yeah. Am I right in thinking that Nottingham Forest have just signed
Ndoye?
No, not him. Yeah. Has Nottingham Forest just completed a deal for that Jota Silva? I think he's gone to Sporting.
He's gone to Sporting. Yes.
Is that right? Is that finalised now?
Yeah.
So they need a new. So they're going to need another winger as well, then, aren't they? So on that basis, there's a lot of work still to be done at Nottingham Forest. I think they're also interested in Yunus Musa, who's the midfielder who plays. He's the American midfielder who plays. Where does he play? AC Milan, I think. Tottenham were interested in him a little while ago. Nottingham Forest have got some interesting links, but it just doesn't feel like, to me, Forest are doing, in the last sort of month, ever since that whole Gibbs White sort of drama started, it doesn't feel like they are attracting the sorts of names that they like. Like maybe the names are just like clever picks, like they were last year.
You'll watch. They'll do it. Listen, let me tell you something. One of the best pickups they got was Ederson from Newcastle. And let me tell you, he's going to be a player. I wouldn't be at all shocked if he ends up being England's 6 by the end of next season.
Yeah.
Signing him up for a long-term contract. I think Ederson and Morgan Gibbs-White will be a formidable midfield partnership, if I'm brutally honest there. Two really good players. I really, really like Ederson.
Yeah.
I think we got some more super chats, Sean.
We do we? Here we go. Marky boys come in. Big up to see you, Marky. Super sticker. Where are we picking you up from, Mark? Let us know, mate. We'll choo our way over to you, buddy. Thank you very much. Really appreciate the support on the channel from all of you, actually, guys. You guys have been incredible. Johnny and I talk about this quite often in the evenings before bedtime. We're having a little pillow talk. We were saying to each other how much we're enjoying this channel. It's been brilliant just to be able to, get involved with talking about things that are not so, I don't know, like the Tottenham stuff can get toxic at times. It's just everyone's negative or everyone's over the top. When you get into other conversations and you're meeting people from digitally, at least from other fans, it's just a little bit kind of clearer headed and there's not that much sort of spiciness in the chat. It's really nice. So thank you all for the support, guys. Nathan, big up, Nathan. Thank you as well, mate. I haven't received the t-shirt. I'm not sure if it will fit me, but I'm looking forward to giving it a go. Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate you. Johnny is a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Very cool of you, man. Look at that, GT.
Loving the cat, man. I'm loving this. I'm loving this.
Very cool. Let us know, Nathan. Is Georgia Tech like
softball?
One of the best? Is that their main sport? Is it?
I think
I'm sure Georgia Tech also play like in the. I'm sure they do basketball and stuff, don't they? Let us know, Nathan, what your number one excellence is as a college. And
Thank you
Dean Law.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate. And Dean Law, another mate, £5 super sticker. That's really nice of you, buddy. Thank you so much. Let us know where we're picking you up from as well, Deanie boy. Really, really appreciate you. means the world to us both. Johnny, let's talk a little bit about Nicholas Jackson, shall we? Nicholas Jackson, shall we? Easy for me to say. Apparently, Barcelona have come in and are prioritising the transfer for Nicholas Jackson now. I don't know where Barcelona are getting the money from.
Well, this is an interesting one because Man United said they can't do the deal because the wage demands were way too much for them. I mean, Ratcliffe, 18 times bitten, twice shy. I mean, I don't know how many players they had on, 250 to 350 grand a week. Must be about 5 or 6, I would have thought. He's not going to be falling into that trap anymore. So he's not going to be paying that for Nicholas Jackson, which begs the question, where the hell are Barcelona going to get the money for Nicholas Jackson and the wages? Have they got anyone they're selling? I mean, they're not going to sell Rafinha, are they? I mean, who are they selling? I mean, they've got nothing to sell. Let
me have a look. Let me have a quick look on Barcelona's.
They're still trying to get rid of their goalkeeper to get some money in.
Let's have a look.
To stay. I
can't see that. Latest transfer news. Ferran Torres, the Saudi Pro League is. Oh, we have to go to Saudi.
Oh, here we go.
Now, if we're going to do that, we better go for a quick little journey. Where are we going to go? We're off to. You know where we're going, people.
We're off to Saudi Arabia for the next part of the show.
So the Saudi Pro League is aiming to sign Ferran Torres this summer and will offer the 25-year-old a 60 million euro salary across 3 years. They're willing to pay whatever fee Barcelona requests in order to convince them to part ways with Torres, who has become an important figure in Hansi Flick's side. Despite Torres expressing his desire to remain at Barcelona, the club may sanction a sale to fund further transfers. That's coming from 2 different reports. 90 Min reports on Barcelona's potential travel plans involving. That's old. Sorry. No. So that's the story, mate. So the Saudi, it doesn't say which particular club. One of the clubs are looking at paying whatever's necessary. What the hell
they're desperate. They're desperate right now to start bringing in some big names. Okay, and at the moment they're not getting the big ones. Obviously, they've got the aging big ones. Normally, when they throw the money, it works. But right now, I mean,
Robert Lewandowski as well, by the way, is all according to Goal.com, is also of interest from the Saudi Pro League clubs.
Yeah, you can imagine that. I mean, Lewandowski, at his stage of his career,
was he now 39?
It must be 37, 38. It must be getting up there at least. But 36, 37? I don't know. I don't know what he must be now. But would you not go out to Saudi now at this stage of his career and actually have a huge payday? Not that he's short of money, but then there's money, and then there's money that's been offered in Saudi with no tax attached.
He's 36. My bad. He's 36. I aged him quite badly.
Oh, I thought it was 36, 37. Yeah, you've
been horrible there, and I
threw him under a bus. Listen, he was a big miss when they played PSG. Let's be honest. In that semi-final, and I think had he been there up front, they probably would have beaten PSG. I think that should have been the final. PSG, I would have loved to see PSG versus Barca because they were exciting last year.
There's a couple of stories out, mate. It's probably about time we also, whilst we're out in that part of the world, let's just pivot across. Just get on a short plane ride. There's quite a lot of stories out of Galatasaray today.
This is the turkey segment. The turkey segment of the show.
Well, there's one deal that looks like it has finally been done. They finally found a bank guarantee for Napoli, and Victor Osimhen. I mean, we've been discussing this deal for 2.5 months since we started.
Yeah.
It looks like he's on his way, and the deal is going to be finally tied up. Must be the longest running saga. Now, whether or not that is going to trigger Napoli to now come back potentially to actually have a go for Darwin Núñez as well as the striker. I'm forgetting his name now, that they bought from Udinese, and have at least 2 top strikers up front, if you can call Darwin Núñez a top striker. Will they go for him? I'm not sure, but it's definitely going to hand Napoli the money that they've needed to start triggering all the interests in the Jadon Sanchos, the Darwin Núñezes, and about 5 other players. Because if you remember right at the start of the window, nearly everyone was being linked to Napoli at the time because they thought the money was going to come in for it, Victor Osimhen. But so that one's finally done. They've got some good strikers out there now. Tammy Abraham's gone out there as well. Besiktas, I think.
Yeah. There's a lot of good players going out to Turkey. There's also not just good strikers, mate, a potential good goalkeeper as well. According to the problem is, right, this guy he's got 1.9 million followers, but he puts out so much nonsense. He sucked me in, this guy. His name's Yagiz Sabunkoglu, I think his name is. He's a reporter for he's a sports journalist for Disney, for Now TV Turkey, Now Sport TR, whatever. Mm-hmm. But he got me sucked in on the Victor Nelson story from years ago. He said that was a done deal, and it wasn't. He got me sucked in on Altay Bayindir to Tottenham. That was a done deal. It wasn't. He's now saying that Galatasaray are set to sit down with Manchester City to negotiate a transfer fee for Ederson. They have already agreed personal terms with the Brazilian goalkeeper, which makes me think, mate, if Ortega is leaving, if Ederson was to leave this summer, is Donnarumma going to go to Man City then?
Well, I think it's going to be a race to the post between Chelsea just got their header front and Manchester City coming in up on the rails. I don't know what they told James Trafford when they signed him from Burnley, because he started off, he was their number 3. Then he gets told he's going to be their number 2 to Ederson. Then Ederson goes, Ortega goes, and he's still number. Would you want to be number 2 to Donnarumma? I don't know. He's young enough. And he's
going to win a lot of trophies, mate. You're still going to win a lot of trophies, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're going to have a couple of minutes, a couple of games in the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup. You probably won't play in the Champions League, but you might play the following weekend in the league. So you'll participate in the title chances.
If you were Ederson, would you go to Turkey or would you go to Saudi?
Well, the article says that they've already agreed personal terms.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, listen, it's not the first time we've heard the story, and so I think it has some substance to it. But surely,
I think you go to Turkey, mate, because Turkey still plays in Europe. In the European competition. Saudi doesn't, and they play in chock-a-block stadiums. Saudi plays in half-empty stadiums. So to me, I think that the only reason you go to Saudi is if they're paying you obscene money that you can't get elsewhere. If you're Ederson and you're getting satisfactory money from Galatasaray, you'd probably go there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so. Guys, if you're in the chat and you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. We need it to get the algorithm going. And if you're dropping in for the first time, please hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps the channel grow. We're on our way to 4,000 now. Slowly but surely, not slowly but surely, very quickly, we're on our way to 4,000. Some people, it takes a couple of years to get there. We're almost there in 2.5 months. And if you are here for the first time and you're hitting the subscribe button, please tell us who you support and where you're from. Thank you.
100%. Connor's in the house. Big up, Connor. You keep putting in little comments of just you pissing yourself laughing. Not sure what's funny, but hopefully it's something that Jonny said, not something that I said. But we'll find out, Connor. Let us know. Next story for you. Benjamin Sesko. That one's moving quite fast. So Manchester United. There's this first stories out from Pletigol, who says Manchester United held concrete talks with Sesko during RB Leipzig's training camp. There is a feeling that Sesko would choose United over all other current options. And then more recently than that, Ben Jacobs has come out and said that United have sent over some sort of like secret cohort over to Germany to to make a move for it. And
well, how come that's secret, can it? Everyone's
if Ben Jacobs knows, yeah, exactly. And Laurie Whitwell of The Athletic has said that Manchester United are now choosing to pursue a deal for Sesko. A decision has been made over Ollie Watkins. Christopher Vivell has been integral to the deal. I don't know who Christopher Vivell is, but it looks like, mate, if The Athletic are saying it and Plettigol is saying it, it looks very much like Manchester United are probably going to have a front three of Cunha, of Umbumo, and of Benjamin Sesko. That's fairly a fair old improvement,
that's pretty good business. They do like Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins was their number one choice, but they were asking for 60 million. They don't want to pay more than 40 million. And let's be honest, you know, unless they're going to do that swap deal we mentioned before with Garnacho and Ollie Watkins, I can't see it happening. Sesko's 22, and I think, you know, Højlund, they're going to try and get into, they're trying desperately to get Højlund back to Italy. We mentioned this about going back to Atalanta, which will tie in with Atalanta's Lookman deal to Inter Milan. Inter Milan still haven't coughed up the money. So there's a few dominoes here. One triggers 2 or 3 deals here. Just like the Victor Osimhen deal could trigger a whole load of deals from Napoli. This deal, Rasmus Højlund, is in high demand this summer from several clubs. They might be in demand. No one is going to pay anywhere near the £77 million or his wages. Where does that leave Man United? A loan deal, or do they just cut and run?
I don't think they can afford to cut and run, mate.
No, they can't.
If they're about to drop 70 odd million quid on Sesko, having already dropped 60 odd on Cunha and about the same, bit more maybe on Umbumo, that's 200 million quid on 3 players without really raising anything on the way of outgoings. They've made a little bit of money here and there, but nothing like what they need to. I mean, how are they doing this? Are we just to take Sir Jim Ratcliffe as full of shit when he was saying that we were weeks away from turning the lights off because we're broke, we're bankrupt or whatever?
Well, that was the story. Yeah, well, that was the story. So he could sack the tea lady and the 450 staff members and the guy, the car park attendant, and close the canteen, stop all staff meals. Yeah, that one didn't go down well. I mean, I got, you know, getting rid of Alex Ferguson on $1 million a year salary as the ambassador, right? I mean, he could have taken a wage cut, but listen, it is for them. They're big deals. They're big deals, and they've got Xerxes as well up front, who I think is better. You know, of the two, Xerxes is definitely the one who has more promise for me than Rasmus Højlund. But we shall wait and see on that one. What else have you got, Sean? There's so many stories out there, mate, at the moment.
Well, Newcastle United have made an informal, apparently according to Craig Hope of the Daily Mail, Newcastle United have made an informal inquiry for Fulham's Rodrigo Muniz. I mean, look, Foxy, if you're still there, mate, let us know how you're feeling, because I feel for you, buddy, because we're going through something similar, but at least you've got something to chew on and ultimately be disappointed. We're starving over here for any kind of real news. But Newcastle United keep going for the big uns, and now if they end up landing on a Muniz, mate, it's that's not going to move the needle, is it? Newcastle United fans aren't going to be happy with Rodrigo. He's not a bad player, by the way, but like 40 million quid for Muniz from Fulham. What are we doing here?
Are we saying that Wissa is dead and buried?
Well, Wissa, apparently Brentford are saying that they're just not going to sell him until they found a replacement, and you know it seems like it's like there's still a lot of strikers out there, but. Where Brentford? Where do they sit in the pecking order? If Newcastle can't sign anybody any good, what you know?
That's it.
Where did Brentford turn?
I mean, it's Brentford really have not done. When you look at the business that Sunderland have done and Leeds have done, straight out the traps, doing deals. I just don't know. I don't know. I think it's a tough one for them. It really is. I mean, look, they need a centre-back. They bid for a few. Mark Gay was of interest. Zabani was of interest. They're interested in lots of players. But unfortunately, there's a lot of competition for the same players. And, you know, like Spurs, like Newcastle and like some other clubs, you know, you might see that Manchester United had a horrific season, but when push comes to shove, Manchester United are still the bigger draw, even
100%.
even in the mess that they've been in. So, talking about Mark Gahey, do you think with Liverpool desperate for a centre back, not being able to get Zabani, not being able to tie up a deal for Konate, that they will be able to get Mark Gahey out the clutches of Steve Parish? I mean,
yeah,
he might want 60, 70 million, but he's in the last year of his contract. Surely sense will prevail and he'll go for like 40, 45 mil. What do you reckon?
Yeah, and this is where Liverpool are so smart, aren't they? Because they don't, like, it seems like everything is so calculated. There's no like, oh, we've missed out on that one. Let's just move for the next one. Let's move for the next one. It's just, no, they identify who they want. They see the players that are coming up for contract situations, probably have those conversations with the agents months or even years in advance, and then figure out, like, they're always planning maybe a year or two ahead. At least it appears that way because they so rarely get it wrong. And to me, I think that they're going to get a great centre-back. Again, I don't think Gahey is as good as everybody else does. I think he's a good player, very good player, but I don't think he's world-class. But if you can get him for 40 million quid, then especially as Crystal Palace rejected a 70 million pound bid from Tottenham in January, mate. Like it's incredibly wild, isn't it? Incredibly wild.
I rate him very highly, I must admit. So you know, for me, it's a no-brainer. One player that is very much admired by, well, a lot of fans, not just Spurs fans, a lot of fans in the Premier League. I'm surprised no one has come in from the Premier League, and it's Ademola Lookman. They still can't get this deal over the line. They're still not coming up with the money. 50 million euros, Sean? You know, is that really that bad? 50 million euros for a player who's played in the Premier League, who has all the attributes of a Premier League player? I don't think that's bad money. And when we're seeing the numbers that are being quoted for players who are yet to justify their worth or that they can actually do it in the Premier League, I'm amazed that no one's come in. So far, they've offered 42 million plus 3. Atalanta have told them that's not enough. And I think they're right to hold out for the 50 million.
Yeah, the only thing is, I mean, look, for me, when I've been using the Y-Scout and dialing up and trying to find my perfect winger for Tottenham, there's 3 names that keep popping up. One of them's Garnacho, one of them's Lookman, and one of them's Anthony Gordon. And the problem is that Lookman's 27, right? So it's not quite the same as paying 40 million quid for a Garnacho that's, what, 21, 22, something like that. So...
But 27's in the prime, mate. I mean, look, we're looking at...
I hear you. You haven't got to sell me on the idea. I'm just saying that's just... You know, the market seems to say that 27-year-olds don't seem to carry the same weight anymore. But I think that he'll end up going to Inter. But I am surprised. I agree with you. I am surprised that no Premier League clubs have taken a look at the man, if you pardon the pun. But yeah, it's crazy because I think he's a perfect player for the Premier League, and I think he'd make a really, really good impact. He's strong. He's powerful. Can take a player on. He's good at crossing. He can take, you know, he can take the ball and put it into the top bins with either foot. He's strong. He's everything that you would want, or at least I would want. But yeah, unfortunately, 50 million quid seems to be too much. But also, it just always feels like if Atalanta want 50 million euros from Inter, if an English club came in, they'd want 60 million, or they'd at least want to change the currency from euros to pounds and then add a few more. You know,
Premier League frigging tax. But when you look at these metrics, for me, the standout value right now in the market, without doubt, for me, I've said it once, I've said it twice, and probably go till I'm blue in the face, is Kolo Muani. I just think that, you know, when they're quoting 40, if they'd like to get half of their money back of the 90 million that they got, 90 million euros they paid for him from Frankfurt, they've had the loans and everything amortized, they'd take 45 million euros. And for me, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. Real no-brainer. Listen, we saw what he'd done as soon as he arrived at Juventus. He's been smashing it. And the other player, you know, who we've been speaking about on here for weeks, that deal for Ederson still has not been done, Sean.
Yep.
What is holding it up? Have AC Milan actually got the money to do this deal from Club Brugge or not?
I think that Milan are sitting there. I mean, Milan have got issues, mate. Milan have got financial issues, 100%, right? 100%. That's why they ended up letting go of Theo Hernandez, because they didn't want to pay his wages any longer, right? And he ended up going to Al Hilal. By the way, don't let me forget, Tottenham are looking for a left back.
Correct.
Obviously, Theo Hernandez has gone. How about his fucking brother, 27-year-old Lucas Hernandez, who plays at PSG, but who's been completely sidelined by Mendes? Like, to me, Lucas Hernandez was, I think, arguably the better of the two. Of the two kind of the two players in the French team. I remember when Lucas got his leg broken in, was it the Euro 22? I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was then. But yeah, amazing player, and yet he seems to be, somewhat sort of sidelined a little bit by PSG's revolution. Would love to get him in. He'd be absolutely insane at 27 peak. But back to Milan. Yeah, they have issues, mate. They have financial issues. And so paying 40 million euros for a very talented, but a player that's only done it in the Belgium league, that's the hesitation, I think, for everybody, isn't it? Is how much do you pay for a guy who kills it in the
How
Belgium?
much do you think? I mean, look, we've been talking about him before anybody else was talking about him, coming to Spurs. How much of the fan base do you think if he did come, or we suddenly signed him out the blue, would go into meltdown? Oh, another nobody. We've got to Google. But then when they Googled him and started watching the YouTube highlights, suddenly said, "Oh, he's the bee's knees." I wonder how long that would take for that flip from "Oh no, another Danny Rose" to "Oh my God, this guy's the nuts." You know how fickle fans are. But
yeah, listen, I was really impressed with him. But I was also really impressed by the guy Adem Zorgan, who played for Charleroi, and he then moved to Union Saint Gauloise. But the only thing wrong with Adem Zorgan, Adem Zorgan had better stats than Arden Jashari playing in a similar position. Zorgan he's too slow. He's not mobile enough. But when he's the ball at his feet, he can do amazing things. But it's just the question is what is the right price point? I guess, look, in a nutshell, that's the hesitation in my mind. Is AC Milan willing to pay that when they've also just gone and signed a player that's not a dissimilar sort of position in Samuel Ritchie? And so it's like 40 million quid on another player that we're not sure about. But the fact that AC Milan are interested in him, I think validates the level of the player anyway. AC Milan would be using him in the Champions League and things. So to me, look, I'd like to see a player. I'd love to see him come to the Premier League, and then we'll see how good he is at the highest and the fastest game.
There's one player, Sean, that I messaged you earlier, who I really would like to see at Spurs. Unfortunately, he's at my club designated for the season at Athletic Bilbao, and that's Ohan Sancerre, right?
Yep.
I don't know is it too late to get his stats up?
No. I think they're in my I've got them in my
save list. I don't know whether they'd let him go. I'm not sure if you guys in the chat know how hot this guy is, but what a player he is.
He's very, very good at a lot of things, but he's not like the complete player. But he's a very, very hot player at the moment. As an offensive
player, which is what I'm looking at, he's absolutely superb. I'm not sure what they would want for him.
A lot of money.
As Oihan Sancerre, that's Oihan Sancea. I mean, listen, I'm not going to say that he's strong in every aspect, but the aspect that you need him to be strong at, he is.
He's very, very good at take-ons, brilliant at take-ons.
Yeah.
Doesn't get tackled too much in the take-on attempts. And
offensively,
this stuff, right? He's just great at medium passes, great at long passes, to be honest. And then
balls into the box. Yeah. I mean, if you're looking for someone, like a Morgan Gibbs-White replacement, in my opinion, this guy would be another one. I mentioned yesterday Romano Schmidt, who's also another really good player. But I really like this guy, and I think you've got to try and think out the box at the moment because all the big players are being signed up. So you've got to really find a player who's performing right now that you can get your hands on. That when everyone else has gone, because that's what we're looking at the moment.
Foxy, and I'll come up with some wild ones. There's a really interesting player in the Russian league from Armenia called Eduard Spurtsian. Perfect in the 10 role and can play out wide. Gives me Crash vibes, though, the way he's going under the radar. Yeah, but it'd be unlikely he'd come to the Premier League from Russia. You have to probably vet him for spying or something. Make sure
one that will probably be going because Arsenal need the money if they're going to sign Eberechi Eze is Leonardo Trossard. Obviously links in the Premier League, so clubs going in the Premier League. But the club that seemed to have stepped up with their interest for the 30-year-old is Borussia Dortmund. I think he'd be more than comfortable at a club like that. Wouldn't you think, Sean?
Yeah.
Joe Bellingham on the outside there, Joe Bellingham inside. I think that would be a good signing for him. I'm not sure though whether Jadon Sancho will they do that deal. I think they're going to wait for that deal to try and screw United into the ground. United said they're willing to sell now for 17 million. They're offering nothing like that. Juventus are interested. So are Napoli, but they're not willing to pay anywhere near the money that Man United want. I think he's got 1 year. Is it 1 year left on his contract? Isn't it? Just this year. So
Jadon Sancho.
Yeah.
1 year left. 1 year left. Yeah, we shall. Look, I think United again. I think what they're doing is they're going to spend money they don't necessarily have if they are going to go and get Benjamin Sesko, and then they're going to have to sort of drop their asking price, knowing they're going to get held over a barrel. But at least they're getting it done. I would prefer if all clubs were just to get on the ball of like buying the players that they want, and then the kind of players that are second tier go later on out the door. But it's not the way that Tottenham work. I just want to show you this one quickly, Johnny. Look at this. This is quite an interesting clip here. Sure. Brighton starting 11 if they hadn't sold any of their stars. João Pedro, Gyökeres and Trossard as the front three. Bissouma, McAllister, Caicedo in the middle. They're shoehorning Cucurella in there as a centre-back, but Stupid Cucurella, Dan Burn and Ben White with Sanchez in goal. It's not a bad team, is it?
Yeah. I think there's probably a couple more there that we've... Caicedo's in there, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always a few. I mean, they're just the machine now. But I think they've just sold... he's gone to Rome. He's gone on Rome, hasn't he? The Irish boy.
Evan Ferguson, gone to my club.
Yeah, your club. Napoli, according to Gazzetta dello Sport, Napoli are looking as well to see whether they can do a deal for Alexander Garnacho, even though he says he wants to stay in the Premier League. If that one fails, they will be looking at Raheem Sterling on a cheap deal out of Chelsea. They're hoping that they can do some business out there. Yeah. One deal that has been done by Liverpool, they signed another striker. This kid, Will Wright, has been massively in demand. Everyone's been twerking for him. Salford City, the club owned by
Gary Neville.
93.
Yeah.
3 boys there. That one's done, I think. I'm just trying to see whichever one. What else we've done?
Evan Ferguson already has 5 goals in Roma, does he? Jesus,
yeah, can you imagine if he starts bagging it in?
£100 million again. Aston Villa have increased their offer for Banz Alper Yilmaz, but are still well short of Galatasaray's price tag of €40 million. Funnily enough, I literally did a video on Baris Alper Yilmaz this morning to Tottenham because there was links that Tottenham were interested in him. Right. But I thought my takeaway on him, I ran him through the Wire Scout, is that he's a bit of a heavy set. No, he's not heavy set, but he's a strong lad who always seems to run at sort of half pace. I feel like he's got a top speed that he doesn't want to reach, and he just bounces off people. Like people go in and try and shoulder charge him, and they always feel like they're like running into a brick wall. He's a winger who can just sort of like bulldoze his way forward. But it'd be interesting to see, because I didn't think he was going to leave Galatasaray this summer. I thought he was going to wait until next year. But if he goes to Aston Villa, then that surely would probably be the end for Bailey, do you think? Johnny?
Yeah, I'm sure. Listen, I expect a couple of last-minute deals from Villa to Saudi Arabia. Just saying it. We said it before the transfer window opened. We're expecting them. I expect it just before the close. Last-minute deal. How much do we need to make FFP by January? Okay, let's do this. Okay, help us out, brothers. Here's one for you, Sean. Another player, maybe potentially going back to his old stomping ground. Calvin Phillips, back to Leeds. What do you think of that one? He wants to rejoin them. Would you take him back? I think that ship sailed, isn't it?
I don't know, mate. I mean, like he didn't work out at West Ham. He was woeful at City.
Woeful at West Ham as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, so...
I mean, do you really want him back?
Depends if he's just put his feet up because he made all that money on the City deal. He didn't care, did he? As soon as he got there, he was like, I'm done. I'm good. You're not going to play me. It's fine. And they paid 60 million quid for him, didn't they? Is he still technically a City player?
No, did he not go to West Ham? I know he went to West Ham. I can't remember if it was on loan. I'll be brutally honest with you. I'm not 100% sure, Sean. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I'll tell you who was on loan, which was Fabio Vieira, who was on loan from Arsenal to Porto.
Yeah.
And now West Ham are trying to do a deal there.
He's too lightweight for the Premier League.
Yeah, I agree.
He's like Brian Hill.
Well,
yeah,
I think he's a monster compared to Fabio Vieira is like a monster compared to Brian Gill.
Yeah, but they're both just lightweight. I just don't think that they'll get blown over by a strong gust of wind. I just don't think they're cut out for this sort of football. You know, both of them are probably better off going back to or staying in Spain. In fact, what's going on with Brian Hill at Tottenham, mate? Have you got any noise? I don't know what's going on there.
I've got no idea what's going on there. None at all. If I'm brutally honest. I've not heard anything on him. I know he was injured, and that's about all I heard. To be honest with you, There's nothing.
Quickly, Sebastian Vidal. I spoke about this a couple of days ago, but he's back out again this morning. He's saying that Tottenham are preparing to move for Palhinha with a bid of around £45 million. It was 45 million euros yesterday. Now it's pound. Last week it was a loan deal. Week before that it was 25 million pound. What the hell's going on with that one? We're not paying 45 million pound for a 30-year-old, are we? It's ludicrous.
Absolutely, it's not happening, mate. It's just not happening. It's absolute BS. I'll tell you what. Several Premier League teams who are looking for a goalkeeper and Bayer Leverkusen are interested in Botafogo goalkeeper John Victor. They haven't just found out about John Victor from the Club World Cup because he has been an absolute monster in Brazil.
Yeah, we talked about him in January, mate, I think, on the Spurs talk show.
Correct. So that one, I would think definitely has some legs. I'll tell you who's amazing. Another one that's sort of a Brighton, not on as big a scale, is Union SG. They're another club that seems to buy up players for 300 grand or 400 grand. And one of them, flipping a year after signing Franjo Ivanovic for 3.5 million euros, had just shipped him off to Benfica for 20 million, plus incentives, plus percentage of a sell-on clause. That's what you want to be doing when you're a small club.
Yeah. Yeah, who is USG? Is USG in bed with Brighton?
Belgium. Yeah, you might be right. Maybe
I think they're one of Brighton's teams, aren't they?
You might.
Let
me
know in the chat. There's a Brighton fan, Ryan Gloria. Is Union St. Gilloise one of your teams? If they are, I think the same thing will happen to Adam Zilgan, although he's 25 now, so it's a little bit late. But be interesting to see if he steps up and then moves for some big money. Yeah, so yes, USG are part of your team, your cohort.
You know that Robin Roth deal you were talking about? I mean, everyone's saying it's an absolute bargain. 10 million, Dutch under 21, top goalkeeper. You know, Holland do produce top goalkeepers. Yeah, it was NEC's, biggest deal they've ever done. And it was for a goalkeeper. Huh?
Yeah. And where was we saying he's going to again? Oh, going to Sunderland. Sunderland, isn't it? Sunderland. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Sunderland. Guys, if you're in the chat, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I don't know if we've got any more. Have we got any more, Shawnee?
There's loads of little ones out there. But it's very, very kind of repetitive. Just quickly, like Leipzig have expressed an interest in re-signing Nkunku after Chelsea and moved for Xabi Simons. It's your team, mate. You should have brought this to our attention. You should be up on the Leipzig story.
Mate, let me tell you something. If we sell any more players, right, I'll have no team to support. Oh, by the way,
you ordered your Leipzig shirt, by the way.
My Leipzig shirt's on the way. My Athletic Bilbao's shirt's on its way. The only one I'm struggling with, I'm going to have to go full out and go to Italy and get Cremonese, because I've contacted everyone in China. Cremonese. I won't do the accent, but they don't know.
Hey, Cremonese. I want the
Cremonese, but I can't do the Chinese Italian. They've never heard of him. They thought it was a dessert, and I had to explain to them, no, it's a shirt, not a dessert.
Nice.
They're hard to get hold of, some of these obscure clubs. When are we going to do? Should we do another spin the wheel tomorrow, Sean?
Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. No, wait. Tomorrow Tottenham are playing, so I'm going to be busy. We have to squeeze in. I don't know when we can squeeze in the show. Maybe tomorrow night.
We'll have a show tomorrow, Sean. Somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it early
tomorrow night.
Do you want to do an early one or whatever?
I mean, I've got plans in the morning and then the watch along for the game, so I have to do it later in the afternoon.
What time's the kick?
12:30.
What, in the afternoon?
No, at midnight. Yes, in the afternoon. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, we could do one after. We could do one after.
Maybe like 4 o'clock or something. Probably be the best.
We could do one after before the big 5.
Yeah. Oh, that's as well, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Busy day tomorrow. Tomorrow.
It's part of streaming life, mate. Well, we do it on Friday. We'll spin the wheel.
We'll see if we can squeeze it in tomorrow. 100%. Guys, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone. I'm not sure if I've done all the super chats, have I? Burgers put one in as well. Thank you, Burgers, very much. Appreciate you. I think I said this one about Dean Law. I think I saw this one.
You did. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dean. Appreciate you all, guys. Please hit the sub, rub the sub, drum the thumb, and let us know in the comment section afterwards if you enjoy it. And we'll be back here tomorrow afternoon. Johnny, any final thoughts, mate?
No, thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Nathan, for the Georgia Tech and the Georgia Tech hat. And I'll be sending Sean's off to him in the next day or so for him to try. And thanks very much. And thanks for everyone that's been sending stuff in. Love it. Thanks very much, guys. And it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from him. See you tomorrow.